Welcome to day 436, everybody. Today, life is too short. It's a review day, 2 videos we've already seen before. I combined the best 4 minutes in a cartoon. I promise you, it's the best 4 minutes in an animated movie from the life of Ellie and Carl from Up, the movie Up, and combine that clip with the 11-minute clip from Alpe, the artist, about 5 things he wished he had known as a young artist that we covered early last week. Combine these two, lots of life lessons, all right? So as a summary, the clip of Ellie and Carl, if you didn't catch that day, you know, boy, that was a big crying day. Everybody was crying that day. Such a sad time. And it starts when Carl and Ellie are young. They just get married, and everyone's happy for them. He carries her home to this house that's all broken down, and it is a fixer-upper, right? And so they spend their early years, fixing up the house, and they both work at the zoo. She works in the gift shop and takes pictures of people, and he sells balloons to the balloon animals, things like that, to the kids. And so the years go by, they fix up the house, Ellie gets pregnant, so they're happy, and they're making a baby room. Flash forward to the next scene, Ellie's in the doctor's office. It's not good news. She obviously loses the baby and has a miscarriage, which is very common here in this tribe. And so she's depressed, and Carl, in order to cheer her up, buys a book that says My Adventure Life, my adventure book, and they're going to fill it up with all the things they're going to do. So they start saving money to go on these trips. You know, they want to go into this Amazon forest, you know, because they work at the zoo, so they're interested in these animals. And life happens, man. You know, they get a flat tire, they follow Carl breaks his leg, medical bills. They go to work day after day after day, and then, you know, she fixes his tie day after day after day, and then one day he's old. They're old, and they're happy, and they're cleaning their house, and he sees his old picture of him as a little boy when he was so enthusiastic. You know, he's got the little pilot's a leather cap on, and he's just super excited, and then he sees that promise, so he goes and buys a ticket for her to go on their trip finally. And he's so excited to give it to her. He runs up his hill where they've done picnics their whole life, but she doesn't make it up this time. She collapses. They take her to the hospital. She doesn't come home. She dies. And fast forward to the funeral, and then Carl goes into his house, and he's an old man by himself, you know, and that's it. And it's the best 4-minute animated video segment ever. And you can't watch that without crying, because it really hits home the point that, like, life is short. So tip number 1, life is happening when you're making plans. So life happens when you're making plans. So much of us, we plan on going back to school. We plan on, once my kids move out, we plan on, oh, if I only get this promotion. We keep making plans. But this is really important if you understand that. Life is happening when you're making plans. Like, it's a weird flip, like a switch you have to flip. You know, like, because the average person thinks like, oh, well, I'm gonna plan for this day, this vacation, this trip, this whatever it is. I'm gonna save up for it. And then when that moment comes, then I'll start living my life. Then I'll really do what it is I want to do. A big story that's been sold on you guys is this retire at 65 story. So many of y'all are starting to realize now, like, dude, this retirement at 65 bullshit is a total lie. A lot of people are baby boomers. They're starting to retire now, and they realize they can't retire. comment if that's you. Comment if you're willing to admit, man, I'm like 60 years old. I can't retire. I'm 65, I can't retire. I'm 70, I can't retire. And so we've been sold this idea that, oh, work hard, and then at 65 you get to retire and start living your life. Dude, that is the biggest lie. You know, like, it's so funny. I deal with all of these people on my fan page who are talking about these conspiracies about the vaccine and COVID and whatever. And I'm like, dude, you're not even bitching about the main conspiracy. The worst conspiracy is that you're going to retire at 65. You know what I mean? That's the worst conspiracy. That's the worst narrative, right? So everyone seems to think like, oh, this magic number is going to happen. I can't wait to get to 65. Well, what if you don't get to 65? Or what if you do get to 65 and you can't retire? You have no money. So we've been sold this bag of lies. And the sooner we realize that, the sooner we realize, like, okay, I'm going to do what the fuck I need to do, right? Life is short. Life is what's happening when you're making plans. So, well, Dr. V, well, what do I do about it? Well, that's in the second video. That's in the second video. In the second video, you know, he gives you the 5 tips, the things he wish he had known as a younger artist. Number 1, inspiration is overrated. Motivation is overrated. Oh, if you'll only motivate me to lose weight. If you'd move in with me, can I tell you how many times I see that comment? If Dr. Vuong would just move in with me, then I'll lose weight. If he would just come over and cook for me every day, then I'll lose weight. It's like you're waiting for motivation. Like, dude, you can't do that. Motivation is overrated. Inspiration is overrated. Number 2, your ego. I'm going to cover these, go back and cover these. Number 2, your ego is what's screwing you up. Your ego is what's screwing up. Number 3, there is no perfect time. People wait for the perfect time. There is no perfect time. Number 4, being an artist is hard, not because of the reasons why you think. It's because of the emotion. So I will change this to say life is hard because of the emotions involved, not because of life. There's nothing that life does that's hard. Like, I don't think life is hard, but how many people do you hear and say life is so hard? It's not hard. Your emotions are what's hard, right? And then number 5, jack of all trades. You got to do a lot of shit to figure out what you really want, which circles back to number 1. You know, it circles back to number 1. You can't wait for inspiration, motivation. Dr. V, I get it. So, like, I love the clip, and it's sentimental, but what do I do about it? How do I not end up like that? Number 1, you got to stop waiting for inspiration, motivation. It's way overrated. I can't tell you all that enough. You just got to start doing, which takes me to number 5, which is like, you got to do a lot of shit. Well, Dr. Vuong, what if I do the wrong thing? Well, you'll find out a lot faster, won't you? You'll find out a lot faster. I mean, I made this coffee mug here. I have this in a t-shirt. I have my gang sign t-shirt. I figured all that shit out. You know, I watched YouTube videos. I did what I needed to do. Shopify store, Printful.com, hooked it all up together, created my account, started selling, started promoting, and I made sales. But then at the end of the day, you know, you make about roughly $5 a t-shirt, roughly, depending on which t-shirt you pick and how much you charge, right? But let's say that's roughly $5 for a t-shirt, which is great, which is awesome. That's a $5 bill. You would not pass up a $5 bill. And then one day I did it, and then I realized, why do a $5 t-shirt when I can do a $100 online course? Or I can do a $1,000 mastermind or $5,000 mastermind. And it's fine. Sometimes you got to start with a $5 t-shirt or a $10 book or a 99-cent book. I mean, but there has to be a game plan that moves it along. In other words, you got to do a lot of shit, guys. The average person does not understand how much shit you actually have to do, okay? I want to share this because I shared it in one of my groups last week, and I told them I would share it with the tribe. But so let me share this with you. Write this down. I've never said this before. Okay, opportunity trumps. I'm sorry. I'll take it. I messed that up. Here it is. Ready? Quantity beats quality every time. Quantity beats quality every time. That's part A. Part B. We all want quality, But to get to quality, you have to go through quantity. I'll say that again. Quantity beats quality every time. To get to quality, you have to go through quantity. In other words, to get good at what you're doing, you have to do a lot of it first, right? So many of you guys are like, oh, I have to wait for the perfect design to start a t-shirt company. I've got to figure this out. I got to figure out editing. I got to get to goal weight. I got to do this. I got to do that. Oh my God, like PowerPoints. You have to give a presentation. You're slinging dildos. You're slinging candles or oils, right? Like, oh, I'm working on this PowerPoint presentation. Once I get it perfect, then I'll start selling. Dude, you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose to the person who goes out and makes 100 pitches, who makes 100 imperfect pitches. And then you're like, oh no, I'm ready now. I'm gonna crush it. I've got all my slides ready, all my graphics are ready, right? Everything's beautiful. I get up, I gave a killer one-time presentation. I'm here to tell you, you will lose. You will lose to that person who did 100 imperfect pitches. Quantity beats quality every single time, hands down. Now, the killer though is when you get to quality and you have quantity. But you can only get to quality through quantity. You will only get better the more you did it. How did I become a great sleeve surgeon? I did a shit ton of sleeves. I did a shit ton of training before I did my very first patient. It's not like I wasn't like other surgeons, man. I didn't go to a weekend course. I didn't go to a couple of conferences. Like, I literally took time and went and operated with other surgeons. Literally operated with them. I got permission. I got, they vouched for me. I got to scrub in with them. They would walk me through the surgery. They would let me do some of the dissection. They would talk me through how to do it. They would point out the anatomy. Dude, I didn't just go to a weekend conference. You know what I mean? Like, I realized that in order for me to have great results and a safety record, I would have to nail out a bunch under guidance, right? So, in other words, if you have, let's say you have an MLM, network marketing company you want to start, you're going to be better off if you will, like, some people listen, like most MLMs have like a week, two or three nights a week you can join for a call, and they'll a training call. And and the average person who signs up for an MLM never gets any training, but you might have somebody that gets on the call once or twice and listens to the training and gets bored, doesn't do it again. But the person who listens to the training every week will win at the end of the day. Does that make sense? Right? So, like, quantity, you've got to do a lot of stuff, which takes me to the next tip. Your ego is what gets in the way. But Dr. Vuong, what if I screw it up? What if I mess it up? What if nobody watches? What if no one watches my live? What if people laugh at me? See, that's your ego messing you up. Oh, no, I'm a perfectionist, Dr. V. You don't understand. You're telling me that you're a perfectionist and I don't understand. A surgeon? Do you know how perfect you have to be as a surgeon? Just from the day you were little and you had to test? Do you know what that means? Like, to get 100 on an exam or 99? It's perfection. You know? A cook, gardener, surgeon, intern of the year, resident of the year, chief of the year. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, Dr. V, you don't understand. I'm a perfectionist, and it has to be perfect before I do anything. Yeah, your ego's fucking you up. That's all that is. Oh, no, Dr. Vuong, they really hurt me. They really teased me. They really made fun of me. Yeah, how long ago was that? Oh, that was last year. That was 5 months ago. That was a decade ago. And you're still holding on to it. Why? Because your ego says, like, I've been wronged. I'm a big man. I'm a big woman. Like, my feelings are what matters. My feeling, I am right. Let me give you the next tip. Do you want to be right, or do you want to be happy? Louise Hay says, in the Course in Miracles. And the Course in Miracles says, do you want to be right, or do you want to be happy and peaceful? I want to be happy and peaceful. It's okay. That's the ego. That's the ego that's holding you up, because the average person thinks ego is like arrogant. They think the ego means someone's egotistical. They think a lot about themselves. You know what I mean? Like they think a lot about themselves. They're arrogant. No, I'm talking about your ego, the actual psychological part of your brain that says, look at me. I'm important. I've been hurt. My opinion matters. That will keep you miserable. Who understands what I'm talking about? Who understands what I'm talking about? So once you decide, I want to be happy, and then you work on letting go of the ego, you'll feel a lot better. Which takes me to the next tip. There is no perfect timing. Oh no, I've got to get a degree first. I got to finish my schooling first. I've got to do this first. I got to do that first. Once my kids move out first. Once this divorce is finalized. Once blah, blah, blah. Then. See, that's what Carl and Ellie did. Life was happening to them while they were making plans. The tire goes flat. Fall and break your legs. Things like that happen all the time. Moms get cancer. Grandparents fall and break their hips. Oh, Dr. V, you don't understand. My mom, my grandmother fell and broke her hip, and now I got to take care of it, and I got to do this, I got to do that. I understand. But that's not a reason to not do. Who understands that? That is not a reason to not do. Because it doesn't stop. Oh no, Dr. V. No. I've had weight loss surgery, Dr. V. So, no. I declared to the world that I was serious. I'm committed. It's, this is my last chance. This is the final thing. I'm doing it. I'm committed. And life goes, yeah, let me show you. Here's a flat tire. Here's a broken transmission. Here's a kid on drugs. Here's a school shooting down the road. Not even your kids aren't even involved, but here's a school shooting for you. Here's some Asian hate crime for you. Here's a white powder mailed to you in an envelope. Not even to you, but to somebody on the other side of the country, but you read about it in the news. Oh no, I'm scared. See, life does not stop because you declared you were having weight loss surgery. I declare I'm gonna get healthy. Life doesn't stop. See, admit this though. Admit it. Put a 1 in the comment section if you're willing to admit this. When you had weight loss surgery, in your brain, you kind of thought the world was gonna stop and start revolving around you. Everything was the kitchen, the pantry was clean. You had taken all these steps, this preparation, you got a brand new gym membership. You were gonna really change. Everything was gonna change. You really thought life was gonna play along. You really thought that the bad stuff would stop happening. And then you come home and you catch your husband with his best friend Steve. Come on now, you know it. That's some Brokeback Mountain shit. See, it doesn't work that way. You got to learn how to handle these things. You got to learn how to handle the ups and downs. There's no perfect timing. The only time is now. That is the point of Carl and Ellie. You wake up one day and you're old. I wake up one day, Mason's about to turn 5. I'm about to turn 48. I can't believe Erica's about to be 30. I got 6 months left to sleep with a 20-year-old. God damn it, what happened? So, now Dr. Vuong, that makes sense, but why won't I do it? It's all of that. Who understands what I'm saying? Life is hard, Dr. V. No, it's not. Stop saying life is hard. Stop saying that. Oh no, life is hard, but I'm doing my best. I'm doing the best I can. Where the fuck has that gotten you? I'm doing the best I can, Dr. V. What do you want from me? Where has that attitude gotten you? Nowhere. Second marriage, third marriage, pennies in the bank, pink envelopes, unsolicited phone numbers, creditors calling. I know, I was there. I've been there. Where's that gotten you? Life's hard. I'm doing the best I can. I would suggest you stop. Because the best you can ain't working, girl. The best you can got you 20 pounds of weight regain. So the last tip, life is not hard. Your emotions are hard. So Alpi says being an artist is hard, not because it's hard to make artwork, it's not because it's hard to get in a gallery, not because it's hard to sell your painting, but it's the emotional roller coaster. You'll paint something you think is beautiful and you'll have an art critic knock you down. You'll have somebody on social media knock you down. The highs and lows. You sell one painting and you think you're on top of the world, and then you won't sell anything for months and you're starting to question, am I really a professional artist? It's the emotional roller coaster. So I changed that to say, you know, life is what's hard. Life isn't hard for the reasons you think it is. It's your emotions. The average person, and you see this in the news every single day. You see this with the, you know, gun violence, the mass calls, the, you know, impulsive things, the people going to beaches, all that sort of stuff, right? What happened? We warned them about Thanksgiving, holiday travel season, New Year celebrations, and we had a horrible January and February. Now look at that. Why? Oh, coronavirus. It's because of coronavirus. It's because of mandates. It's because of our government. It's because of the president. It's because of this president or that president or blah, blah, blah. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's your emotions. You can't control your emotions. And I'm giving y'all credit. Weight loss surgery is very emotional. To lose 150 pounds, you've lost a Dr. V. You've lost another person. Of course that's emotional. I get it. Of course you want to cry. Of course you want to celebrate. Of course you want to brag. That's fine. Go away. Go at it is what I mean. Go do it. Celebrate your wins. But don't make your decisions based on emotion. Don't start flapping your gums. That's what people do. Dr. V, then, bonus tip. How do I control my emotions? Elevator tip, we are done. So then how do I control my emotions, Dr. V? Answer is this. You have to shut the fuck up already. You have to shut the fuck up already. Because every time you think it should be a certain way, every time you think your government should do something, every time you think your school principal is fucking up, every time you think this mom is stupid for taking her kids to spring break, every time you think stuff like that, that's your ego talking. That's tip number one. Your ego screws you up. Can I have an aha? That's what it means. That's where your ego comes from. Is this opinions, is these thoughts, these ideas. So Dr. V, you're telling me I'm not supposed to be thinking? My opinions don't matter? I shouldn't be doing shit? Do you want to be happy or do you want to be right? Do you want to be happy or do you want to be right? I mean, look at your life. What stresses you out? The PTA. I'm on this committee and they're just a bunch of Why are you on the fucking committee? Why are you on the homeowners board? The HOA. I went to the HOA meeting. Why? That's important, Dr. V. Really? No. No, it's not. What do I want? I want chickens. Why do I need to go to an HOA board? You better call. You better check. Why? Why? It might be against the law. What if it is? They're gonna give me a warning. I'll just have to get rid of them. Big fucking deal. See, it's your thoughts, it's your opinions. That's what that means. That's the ego. That's what's tripping you out. See, you think your weight loss should have been faster. And I love the motherfuckers who are like, weight loss is so slow, but I know I'm not doing everything right. Why is this so slow? But I know I'm not doing everything right. Really? That's how confused people's heads are. I can't tell you how many messages people send me every day where you can't even read the fucking writing. It's like so jumbled. And it's not a language thing. It is a clearly like confused mind. What did I buy? You're taking money from me. You need a refund. Like, you bought this. I don't understand. Why are you mad at me? You know? Like, okay, that's fine. Here's your refund. You know, good luck. Don't buy from me ever again. I'm unsubscribing. I don't fucking care. That's your ego. You're the one who's bugged. Damn traffic. Traffic's gonna do what it does. You're the one who's bugged. Life is too short. One day, let's give you the bonus tip. The bonus tip, man, you piece this all together and you go, oh, life is too short. Huh. That means I won't have this opportunity very often. I won't have this time. I won't have this time with my mom or my dad who's got cancer or my kid. This is the only time Mason will be 4 years old. This is the only time Kizzy will be 14. This is the only time I will get to pick Kizzy up from freshman year. So why not say yes? Why not do the things you want to do? Does this make sense? Life is short. It's my ego that is stopping me. It's my ego that's getting in the way of letting me do something. It's my ego that's getting in the way of hitting live so that my kids have something to remember me by, recording these memories. It's my ego that keeps me from writing my book or telling my story or being creative or doing whatever the fuck I want to do, being happy. Does this make sense? When you put all of this together, day 436 will change your life. Day 436. You love it? Do you declare?